So anecdote number one was that I spent a long time just sleeping through the day and daydreaming in maladaptive daydreams. And this was a long part of my life. I was too afraid of the world, or sort of strung out on a lack of energy and fear and apathy, because I feel like I had nothing. I was in a sort of vacuum for a long time, and I would daydream about fictional characters or characters that I had created, and sort of lose myself in another world. Usually the 18th and 19th centuries, but I could go anywhere. It's just more of the fact of there was a sense of domesticity in this, I guess, cottagecore lifestyle that you would have, and or the adventures, great romantic walks across the Alps with Victor Frankenstein, and I wrote fan fiction about Victor Frankenstein, but I would just spend the day in bed and hours, 10, 12 hours in daydreams, sometimes less, sometimes more, perhaps, probably. And I think it's a really bad way to live. I don't recommend it, but I think it was a part of my life. It can be valuable if you go back through that and you kind of see in your imagination the things that you can then share with other people, and it can be useful in its own way. But I think having that experience or that way of thinking, that eccentricity, and because dreams and fantasies are really important, and I don't regret. I do regret. I really regret it. I think if I were to use a Christian framework, which I'm not entirely sure what I believe. I know some of you might have seen my podcast, and it's something I find very interesting, but I would say it's sinful. I think that I wasted a lot of my life and didn't connect to people, but I didn't know what else I could do, or perhaps I did. Perhaps there's a novel called The Testament of Gideon Mack, and the devil character in that, who is really hot, by the way, says, you always had a choice. He says, I can't help that I was alone for so long, and I didn't know what else I could do. I had nobody. I had no choice. And the devil says, you always had a choice. So I always had a choice, but I chose to fantasize and maladaptive daydream and lose 10 to 12 hours of every day, and every night. And I still need to daydream to be able to fall asleep, as though I can't enter that relaxed sort of sleeping mode unless I'm really fulfilled socially. Sometimes when I'm around friends that I have a meaningful connection with, or when I've done stuff that I feel is meaningful, but in a way where I'm also physically fulfilled, because sometimes I can do a lot of studying or a lot of researching, and it's very stimulating mentally, but it's not fulfilling. It doesn't feel like I'm connected to anything or accomplishing anything or moving forward in any kind of future.